A quiet palace disagreement has reportedly erupted into a dramatic clash of influence, loyalty, and royal tradition. What began as an ambitious push linked to Queen Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, is said to have triggered an unexpected response from one of the monarchy's most respected figures. As tensions grew behind closed doors, Princess Anne allegedly moved with remarkable speed, delivering a response that few saw coming and many are still talking about. Could this swift royal intervention have changed the course of the entire dispute? Tell us what you think. Should family connections ever influence important royal decisions? Share your view in the comments below. If you enjoy uncovering the latest royal developments and palace power struggles, please subscribe. Tom Parker Bowles' hidden ambition. Tom Parker Bowles had spent years crafting a very particular image. As a respected food writer, author, and television personality, he often insisted that royal titles meant little to him. In interviews, he portrayed himself as a man standing comfortably outside palace politics, someone whose life revolved around restaurants, books, and journalism, rather than royal privilege. That reputation made what happened during the preparations for the coronation all the more surprising. As plans for the historic ceremony at Westminster Abbey took shape in the months leading up to May of 2023, discussions reportedly emerged over where members of Queen Camilla's family would be seated. What might have been a routine matter of protocol soon became one of the more talked-about stories behind the scenes. According to accounts from palace insiders, Tom was not simply hoping for better placement for his relatives. Reports suggested that he strongly pushed for his children, Lola and Freddie, to be seated alongside the immediate royal family, rather than among more distant relatives. Similar consideration was reportedly sought for his sister, Laura Lopes, and her children. The argument was straightforward. With Camilla about to be crowned queen, her descendants should be seen as fully integrated into the royal household and given a more visible role during the occasion. On the surface, the request may have sounded understandable. Any family would want to share such a significant moment. Yet the issue was never really about affection or family pride. It was about royal protocol, an institution built on tradition, hierarchy, and carefully defined roles. The coronation was not a family gathering. It was a state event watched around the world. That distinction reportedly became especially important when the matter reached the Coronation Planning Committee. There, every seating decision carried symbolic meaning. Placement inside Westminster Abbey was not merely about obtaining a better view. It reflected status, precedence, and constitutional position within the monarchy. What made the controversy particularly striking was the contrast between the reported demands and Tom's long-standing public stance. For decades, he had emphasized that he neither sought titles nor desired special treatment because of his mother's marriage to King Charles. Yet critics argued that these requests appeared difficult to reconcile with that carefully maintained image. As debate quietly unfolded behind palace walls, one reality remained unchanged. Royal ceremonies are governed by rules that often leave little room for personal expectations, no matter how closely someone may be connected to the crown. Princess Anne has spent more than 50 years earning respect through quiet discipline rather than public drama. But what happened behind palace walls that reportedly drew her into a remarkable dispute over one of the most significant royal ceremonies in generations? And how did her steadfast commitment to tradition place her at the center of an unexpected royal clash? Let's find out. Princess Anne's silent palace showdown. Princess Anne is not known for dramatic speeches, public feuds, or emotional displays. Her influence has always come from something far more powerful: an unwavering understanding of duty, tradition, and the rules that hold the monarchy together. After more than 50 years of service, she has earned a reputation as someone who rarely needs to raise her voice because her actions speak loudly enough on their own. That reputation reportedly became the center of a remarkable palace dispute surrounding preparations for one of the most important royal ceremonies in generations. While much of the public focused on the grandeur of the occasion, conversations behind palace walls were said to be taking a very different direction. At the heart of the disagreement was a request linked to Tom Parker Bowles and the position of his children during the historic event. Varkambrabuandu Queen Camilla's grandchildren, in a far more prominent position than tradition normally allowed. To some, the request may have seemed harmless. To others, it touched a far deeper issue: whether family connections could influence a protocol that had been carefully shaped over decades and, in some cases, centuries. The response that followed was pure Princess Anne. There were reportedly no heated arguments, no public criticism, and no visible signs of confrontation. Instead, a quiet review of ceremonial arrangements took place. Seating plans were adjusted, procession details were reconsidered. Positions that some believed were guaranteed suddenly became far less significant. By the time final arrangements were completed ahead of the coronation in May 2023 at Westminster Abbey, the message was unmistakable. Those outside the direct line of royal duty would remain outside it, regardless of personal relationships. The revised plans reportedly ensured there would be no confusion about who belonged within the monarchy's core working structure and who did not. What made the episode so striking was not the decision itself, but the manner in which it was delivered. There was no public victory lap, no effort to embarrass anyone, and no attempt to draw attention to the outcome. It was a reminder of why Princess Anne remains one of the monarchy's most respected figures. She understands that in royal life, a carefully placed seat can sometimes say more than 1,000 words. The coronation of May 2023 showcased royal grandeur at its finest. Yet one seemingly routine decision revealed a far deeper truth about power inside the monarchy. How did Queen Camilla's decades-long rise through controversy and scrutiny lead to this revealing moment? And what did it expose about who truly holds influence behind palace walls? Let's uncover the astonishing details. The decision that exposed power. For all the grandeur, ceremony, and glitter that surrounded the coronation in May 2023, one seemingly ordinary decision exposed a reality that many royal watchers had long suspected. Behind the crowns, titles, and public appearances, influence inside the monarchy does not always belong to the person wearing the most important jewel. Queen Camilla had spent decades navigating one of the most difficult journeys in modern royal history. She endured years of criticism, survived intense public scrutiny, and eventually rose to become Queen Consort beside King Charles. Yet even after reaching the highest position of her life, there remained one obstacle she could not move. That obstacle was Princess Anne. As guests prepared to gather in London for the historic ceremony at Westminster Abbey, discussions surrounding seating arrangements quietly attracted attention within palace circles. On the surface, it seemed like a minor administrative matter. In reality, it became a powerful statement about where the boundaries of royal privilege begin and end. Reports suggested that Tom Parker Bowles hoped his children would enjoy a more prominent place during the occasion, closer to the young royals who stand directly within the line of succession. Instead, the final arrangements delivered a very different message. Visibility, prestige, and symbolic importance remained firmly reserved for those whose positions had been earned through birth, duty, or decades of service to the institution. What made the situation especially striking was the contrast it created. Tom had long presented himself as someone comfortable outside the royal spotlight, often emphasizing his ordinary life and professional achievements. Yet, when an opportunity emerged for his family to gain greater prominence during one of the most watched royal events in recent history, that distance from royal status appeared far less important. Princess Anne reportedly viewed the matter through a different lens. Known for her direct approach, relentless work ethic, and unwavering loyalty to the institution created by her late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, Anne seemed determined to protect the distinction between the royal family and relatives connected through marriage. The outcome was subtle, but unmistakable. It reinforced the idea that a royal marriage does not automatically elevate an entire extended family. More importantly, it revealed a truth often hidden behind palace walls. Camilla may wear the crown, but when it comes to safeguarding tradition and defining royal boundaries, few voices carry more weight than Princess Anne. A simple seating arrangement seemed insignificant at first, Yet it sparked conversations that continued long after the coronation celebrations ended. What hidden message did this quiet decision send? Did it expose deeper tensions, unspoken ambitions, and the invisible rules shaping royal life behind palace walls? Let's unravel the details. The seating plan that shocked. Few moments inside the royal family have revealed so much, while appearing to reveal almost nothing at all. Long after the excitement surrounding the coronation in May 2023 had faded, palace insiders were still talking about a seemingly minor detail that carried a surprisingly powerful message. It was not a speech, a public argument, or an official statement. It was a seating arrangement. What made the situation so fascinating was not the decision itself, but what it exposed about expectations, ambition, and the invisible rules that govern life inside the monarchy. Reports suggested that Tom Parker Bowles believed his mother's rise to queen had changed the position of the entire Parker Bowles family. After years of existing on the edges of royal life, it may have seemed reasonable to think that a new chapter had begun and that old barriers had finally disappeared. Yet the royal institution has always operated by principles that are often misunderstood from the outside. Titles, influence, and importance are not simply extended to relatives through marriage. Within the monarchy, status is closely tied to duty, service, and a clearly defined place within the structure of the crown. This is where Princess Anne's role became so significant. Without creating drama or attracting headlines, she reportedly ensured that those boundaries remained visible. The seating plan served as a reminder that being connected to a queen is not the same as being part of the monarchy's future. The future, as the institution sees it, rests with the direct royal line, including the family of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, rather than relatives linked through marriage. The most striking aspect of the episode is that it appears to have left little room for debate. Sources claimed that Queen Camilla understood the sensitivity of the situation immediately. Defending her son's position could have reinforced accusations of entitlement, while challenging Anne would likely have created an unnecessary conflict. Instead, the matter was quietly closed, but the message remained. In the grand setting of a historic coronation, a simple seating chart became a lasting declaration that royal proximity does not automatically create royal privilege, and that some boundaries within the monarchy remain firmly in place no matter how circumstances change. What appeared to be a simple request soon exposed a far deeper royal reality. But what happened behind palace walls before the coronation at Westminster Abbey on May 2023? Did assumptions about status and privilege trigger unexpected resistance? And could a less forceful approach have changed the outcome entirely? Let's find out. Coronation request sparks palace resistance. The request seemed simple on the surface, but the confidence behind it ultimately became its greatest weakness. In royal circles, few things create resistance faster than the assumption that closeness to the crown automatically brings privilege. That reality was displayed with remarkable clarity during the preparations for the coronation at Westminster Abbey in May of 2023, when questions about status, family connections, and entitlement quietly unfolded behind palace walls. Had the matter never been pushed so forcefully, the outcome might have looked very different. Respectable positions would likely have been available. Public visibility would have been assured, and little attention would have been drawn to the issue. Instead, the insistence on receiving something greater transformed a routine family arrangement into a subtle but powerful royal statement. No one delivered that statement more effectively than Princess Anne. Known for her unwavering respect for royal protocol, she has long understood that the monarchy depends on clear boundaries. Her approach was neither dramatic nor emotional. It was precise. Rather than arguing publicly, she allowed tradition itself to provide the answer. Every seat, every entrance, and every position carried meaning. The message was unmistakable. Proximity to power is not the same as possessing it. For generations, royal households across Europe have faced similar challenges. Relatives connected through marriage, step families, and those standing near the throne often begin to view that closeness as a form of membership. History repeatedly shows how easily association can be mistaken for entitlement. Yet institutions survive because someone is willing to protect the distinction between those who represent the crown and those who merely stand beside it. That is why this episode became about far more than one family disagreement. It became a lesson in how royal authority quietly preserves itself. While public attention focused on the grandeur of the coronation, a different story was being told through careful decisions that many viewers barely noticed. By the time the ceremony concluded, the positions had been assigned, the cameras had captured everything, and the verdict was permanently recorded. Without raising her voice, Princess Anne had drawn the line, and everyone understood exactly where it stood. Queen Camilla appeared to have everything firmly under control during the coronation at Westminster Abbey in May 2023. Yet behind the grandeur, a far more personal story was unfolding. What hidden message lay within the carefully planned seating arrangements, and why did those quiet decisions reveal deeper royal tensions that few could ignore? Let's uncover the intriguing details. Camilla's pain behind royal splendor. On one hand, she was the queen, seated beside the king beneath centuries of tradition and ceremony. On the other, she was a mother, forced to witness a painful lesson unfold in full public view. Behind the smiles, photographs, and carefully rehearsed appearances surrounding the coronation at Westminster Abbey in May 2023, a quieter story was capturing the attention of those who understood the language of royal protocol. Few people in the Abbey needed an explanation. The seating arrangements alone seemed to reveal where boundaries had been drawn and who was expected to remain outside them. While cameras focused on crowns, robes, and historic rituals, many observers noticed a different message taking shape, one that appeared to underline the distinction between those born into the royal line and those connected to it through marriage. For Queen Camilla, the moment was likely far more personal than political. Any parent would struggle to watch a child become the subject of embarrassment, especially when that discomfort seemed to result from actions that could have been avoided. The difficulty was not simply the public's attention. It was the uncomfortable reality that the criticism carried a measure of truth. The expectations being pushed forward had crossed lines that the monarchy has guarded for generations. Adding another layer to the situation was the long and complicated history between Camilla and Princess Anne. Their relationship has often been described as respectful rather than affectionate. They worked together, fulfilled their duties, and avoided public conflict. But warmth was never considered a defining feature of their connection. Part of that distance may have been shaped by memories stretching back decades. Anne had witnessed the turmoil that surrounded the marriage of Diana, Princess of Wales, and King Charles III. She saw the strain placed upon the institution and the individuals caught within it. Anne was never known for dramatic confrontations or public grudges, yet she possessed a remarkable memory and an unwavering commitment to preserving the monarchy's structure. That commitment may explain why the message delivered during the coronation felt so decisive. It was not loud, emotional, or theatrical. Instead, it was expressed through tradition, protocol, and placement of subtle tools that, within royal circles, often speak louder than words ever could. Acceptance can stretch only so far when tradition, duty, and the future of the monarchy are on the line. But what happened behind palace walls as the 2023 coronations approached? Why did growing expectations surrounding Tom Parker Bowles spark deeper questions about family influence, royal authority, and where the line should ultimately be drawn? Let's unravel the details. When royal acceptance reaches limits, acceptance has its limits, especially when tradition, duty, and the future of the monarchy are at stake. As discussions surrounding the coronation in May of 2023 unfolded, a deeper question quietly emerged behind palace walls. Where should the line be drawn between family ties and royal authority? That question gained new urgency when expectations reportedly grew around giving Queen Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, a more prominent place within the royal picture. For many observers, the debate was never about a single individual, but about the monarchy's future. Every position in a royal procession, balcony appearance, or official photograph carries symbolic importance, signaling who represents the crown and who does not. Princess Anne understands this reality better than most. After decades of public service, she has witnessed both reform and controversy within the institution. She has also seen the challenges that arise when boundaries become unclear. In an age of intense public scrutiny and changing expectations, maintaining those boundaries remains a key priority for preserving the monarchy's stability and identity. Rather than responding with public statements or dramatic confrontations, Anne reportedly relied on the tools she has always trusted: order, protocol, and quiet certainty. Her approach reflected a belief that some traditions cannot simply be rewritten and that certain roles carry responsibilities rooted in history, not personal ambition. The message was subtle but unmistakable. Relatives by marriage may be welcomed as family, yet that does not automatically place them within the official structure of the monarchy. As King Charles III guides the crown through a period of transition and Prince William prepares for the future, decisions like these may shape the royal family for decades. In the end, Anne demonstrated that influence does not always arrive with headlines. Sometimes it arrives through quiet decisions that speak louder than any public argument ever could. Tom Parker Bowles may never have faced a public rejection, yet the message he received was impossible to miss. But what happened behind the scenes at Westminster Abbey that made a seating arrangement feel more powerful than words? Was it mere protocol, or a deliberate reminder of where he truly stood within the royal hierarchy? Let's find out. Tom's silent royal reality check. Some lessons arrive without raised voices, dramatic confrontations, or public scandals. They come in the form of a carefully arranged seating plan, a changed route through a historic building, or a simple decision that cannot be appealed. For Tom Parker Bowles, the son of Queen Camilla, that lesson may have been far more powerful than any direct rejection. Long after the cameras stopped flashing and the crowds departed from Westminster Abbey, the memory of where he stood and where he did not likely remained impossible to ignore. What made the situation notable was not open conflict, but the absence of it. There were no public disagreements, official statements, or visible struggles for influence. Yet behind the formality of royal life, a quiet reminder of the monarchy's long-established boundaries seemed to emerge. Few understand those boundaries better than Princess Anne. For more than 50 years, Anne has earned a reputation through discipline, dedication, and a deep understanding of how the institution functions. While others often attract public attention, she has remained focused on duty and service. Her experience has reinforced a principle that many believe is central to the monarchy's survival. Its rules and traditions must remain greater than any individual ambition. When King Charles and Queen Camilla ascended the throne in 2023, some observers speculated that members of their wider family circle might gradually take on more prominent positions. However, the monarchy has traditionally been shaped by rank, responsibility, and established constitutional principles rather than personal expectations. Influence and official roles are governed by protocol, not proximity. That reality appeared to become increasingly clear. Assumptions were met with procedure, expectations with tradition, and tradition ultimately prevailed. The outcome highlighted how royal decisions are often determined less principles. Decisions are made, procedures followed, and the institution continues forward. In the end, the message was not about exclusion, but about structure. Within the monarchy, every role has its place, and few people have demonstrated a stronger commitment to preserving those distinctions than Princess Anne. So, what do you think really happened when Tom's bold demand unexpectedly backfired, and Princess Anne responded with a swift palace move? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.